How do you document real life when real life's getting more like fiction each day?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 musicals that tackled serious issues.
I'm tired of living and scared of dying.
There's a time for us, someday a time for us, time together with time to spare.
For so it is written on the doorway to paradise that those who falter and those who fall must pay the price.
For this list, we'll be looking at times that musical theater was centered around social or political matters. Did we miss your favorite socially or politically aware musical? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, In the Heights. This musical is a snapshot of a predominantly Latinx neighborhood in the throes of gentrification.
Yo, in 96,000, I finally fixed housing. Give the body your computers and wireless web browsing. These kids are living without a good education. Change the station, teach them about gentrification.
As the residents prepare to leave Washington Heights, they reflect on their roots, as well as what home means to them. The older generations recall their experiences as immigrants in America. Meanwhile, the youngsters search to balance their heritage with creating their own cultural identities.
I got every scholarship, saved every dollar, the first to go to college, how do I tell them why I'm coming back home?
They also address the struggles that working-class immigrant families often face. Still, these characters continue to persevere through it all. Ultimately, at the heart of this show is a celebration of diversity, family, and community.
From Puerto Rico to Santo Domingo, wherever we go, we rap our people and the beat go.
Number 9, 9 to 5, the musical. This feminist musical is based on the 1980 movie of the same name, starring Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton.
Look, I got a gun out there in my purse, and up to now I've been forgiven and forgetting because of the way I was brought up, but I'll tell you one thing, if you ever say another word about me or make another indecent proposal, I'm gonna get that gun of mine, and I'm gonna change you from a rooster to a hen with one shot.
Fed up with the misogyny they face daily, three women bond over their plans to teach their boss a lesson. While Mr. Hart is otherwise, tied up, the ladies take it upon themselves to make some changes around the office. This newfound confidence also empowers one of the women, Judy Burnley, to finally confront her philandering ex-husband. During the Me Too and Time's Up movements, this story has remained as relevant as ever. If you want to feel girl bossed up, this is the musical for you.
There's a great new world out there for those who care to claim it. Better days on the way, only we can change it. Stand up, grab a hold, give everything you got.
Number 8, Les Miserables. Although the musical is a condensed version of Victor Hugo's 1862 novel, the major themes remain present. We see how an unjust class system criminalizes the poor, while law enforcers don't always act with the right intent.
You are a thief!
I stole a loaf of bread.
You robbed a house!
I broke a window pane. My sister's child was close to death, and we were starving.
You will starve again unless you learn the meaning of the law.
The narrative also criticizes the treatment of women, best seen through Fantine's tragic story arc.
There are dreams that cannot be, and there are storms we cannot weather.
The lead up to the 1832 rebellion shows tensions bubbling over and well-meaning citizens striving to fight a harmful status quo. We can hardly expect a show called Les Miserables to end on a happy note, but the finale instills hope that some much-needed reforms get underway. Number 7, Rent. Jonathan Larson wrote Rent in tribute to the loved ones he lost during the first wave of the HIV/AIDS epidemic of the 80s.
When they were all diagnosed with AIDS, he realized that Rent, in a way, afforded a palette to talk about what needed to be talked about at that time.
In fact, the song Will I was inspired by a real conversation from a support group meeting he attended. As well as destigmatizing the disease, Larson's musical touches on poverty, homelessness, gentrification, addiction, loss, and acceptance. It also celebrates a racially diverse cast, which wasn't necessarily the norm in the 90s. Spanning over the course of a year, we watch the characters go through ups and downs. And by the end, they take away one important and overarching lesson. Never take anything for granted, because there's no day but today.
No other road, no other way, no day but today.
Number 6. Dear Evan Hansen.
On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass, waving through a window.
A musical for the social media age, Dear Evan Hansen deals with issues that affect many young people in the modern world. The narrative addresses mental illness, from Evan's social anxiety to Connor's substance use.
No one should flicker out or have any doubt that it matters that they are here. No one deserves to disappear.
Although the show has faced some criticism for using mental illness to justify Evan's actions, it's also played a key role in the conversation surrounding mental health. In fact, the cast divulged that audience members have reached out to share just how much they resonated with the show's story. Its anthem of hope, You Will Be Found, even transcended fiction to become a real-life viral hashtag.
When you're broken on the ground, you will be found. You will be found.
Number 5. Hairspray. Underneath Hairspray's upbeat numbers and life-affirming narrative is a message about prejudice and discrimination that still rings true today.
I can't see the reason it can't be the kind of world we all get our chance. Oh yeah. So we can show them how, just turn the music up and let's all dance, yeah.
Taking place in 1960s Baltimore, the musical tackles racism and segregation, the civil rights movement, and even body image. Perhaps one of the most poignant moments in the musical is when Motormouth Maybelle sings the power anthem, I Know Where I've Been. It reflects the struggles of African Americans, while also remaining hopeful for a brighter tomorrow.
There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have yet to win.
While the show ends on a celebratory note, we're reminded that we all have a role to play in creating a better and fairer future for everyone. Number 4. Billy Elliot the Musical. Based on the successful film and set in Northeast England during the miners' strike of the mid-80s, political unrest serves as this musical's backdrop.
I don't want a child, I don't want to be a ballet dancer.
After losing his mom and struggling to connect with his dad, 11-year-old Billy finds solace in ballet. However, this goes against his working-class upbringing, and he begins to question gender stereotypes and traditional masculinity. His best friend Michael comes out to him as gay and reveals that he cross-dresses too.
What is what the hell is wrong with expressing yourself? For wanting to be me. What the hell's wrong with wearing a dress? Woo! Being who you want to be.
Although this creates a bit of tension between them, they accept each other for who they are. Eventually, Billy's family also learns to let go of their prejudices. Ultimately, Billy Elliot is about being yourself, no matter what.
But then I feel it move me like a burning deep inside. Something burst in me wide open, impossible to hide.
Number 3. Hair. This rock musical was considered incredibly groundbreaking for its time, and no, not just because it was the first Broadway show to feature full nudity. Taking place in parallel with the Vietnam War, this group of hippie activists wore their hair long in protest of the draft. It also covered multiple controversial subjects for the time, including sexuality and sexual liberation, interracial relationships, substance use, and pacifism.
And I'll do what I have to do.
Who are you doing it for?
I'm doing it for you, man.
Hey, look, don't hand me that. Look, if you're doing it for me, don't. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't do it for you.
And not only did the performers put on an onstage performance, they also ventured out into the audience. However, this meant that spectator walkouts were not uncommon. Hair opened the door for other musicals to confidently approach previously taboo subject matter.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius.
Number 2. West Side Story. In a previous iteration, this musical was named East Side Story and focused on the conflict between different immigrant communities on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Director and choreographer Jerome Robbins revisited the idea almost a decade later, but now there was a new social issue dominating headlines: gang crime. When the musical opened, it was applauded for tackling themes of immigration, racism, police altercations, and gang violence.
You want to kill each other? Kill each other. But you ain't gonna do it at my beat. Are there any questions?
Yes, sir. Would you mind translating that into Spanish?
Composer Leonard Bernstein had said that West Side Story was actually written as, quote, an out-and-out plea for racial tolerance. And indeed, the message is clear.
Somewhere we'll find a new way of living.
Tragedy strikes the Sharks and the Jets when both sides fail to learn to rise above their hubris and hatred.
You all killed him, and my brother, and Rick. Not with bullets and guns, with hate.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette musical about pain, trauma, healing, and empowerment. Next to Normal, a family grapples with grief and addiction.
Are you wanting all that she can give? Are you bruised? Are you broken? Are you healing? Are you hoping for a life to live? To help you to know.
Miss Saigon, adaptation of Madama Butterfly set in Vietnam.
You didn't ask me to be born. Why should you learn of war or pain?
Fun Home, troubled relationship between a girl discovering her sexuality and her closeted father.
Since like 5, I guess, I preferred to wear boys' shirts and pants. I felt absurd in a dress. I really tried to deny my feelings for girls, but I was like you, Dad, me too.
Come From Away, heartwarming post 9/11 story everyone should see.
You are here at the start of a moment on the edge of the world where the river meets the sea.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Showboat. In December 1927, Showboat made history for featuring the first ever interracial cast in a musical. It also redefined the genre by taking serious topics like racial identity, racism, and interracial marriage through song.
Well, Captain, I have an unpleasant duty. I understand that you have a miscegenation case on board.
What do you mean, Mom?
It was also the first show to seriously feature an interracial relationship, as well as address a mixed-race person passing as white in the segregation era.
Can't help loving that man of mine.
Naturally, over the years, the script has needed multiple revisions due to some of its offensive content. It has been criticized for its stereotypical characters, but also celebrated for creating a discussion about racism in America. Showboat changed the voice of musical theater forever. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.